Hi, my name's Don Robertson. I'm the owner of Tactical Target Systems. These are our line of targets. While working as a deputy sheriff in Los Angeles County, I had just been in an altercation with an armed suspect. We took him into custody without harm, and during the booking process, I was taking down his vital statistics, his age and his weight and his size, and he was a 120-pound, 19-year-old kid. He was also armed with a .357 Sig Sauer. And it dawned on me that the targets that we were practicing on, the B-27s, were actually much larger than the suspect I had in custody. And when I went back to the range and started looking at our B-27s with these circles and arbitrary numbers, for qualification purposes and getting a score, I understood it, but it really didn't teach us what we were trying to learn and what we should be learning on neutralizing a threat. So we went to the drawing board and started designing what we have today as our self-defense line. And because these are so different than anything else that's ever been out on the market, we were actually able to get United States copyrights on them. So it's been exciting, it's been fun. They've been adopted by many, many law enforcement agencies all over the United States. We actually broke into ally nations last year, selling to France and Belgium as well. It's catching on. We've shot at the same targets for years and years, and there hasn't been much excitement. It's kind of interesting to me to think how much money people will spend on a particular firearm and how much money they'll spend on their ammunition and everything that goes with it. And targets have kind of always been in the background. You can shoot at a tin can or you can shoot at just a legal-sized piece of paper. But if you want to shoot at something that actually makes sense, that educates and teaches you the value of critical shot placement, then Tactical Target Systems self-defense line is what you're really looking for. I'm speaking to the range owners right now. When's the last time you took a look at your targets and evaluated what you're selling? And are you still selling the old B-27s and the old circles with numbers? And you might be selling a zombie turkey or something. What's really interesting and what's educational that's up on your wall? This is where I think a lot of ranges kind of just forget about the importance of what people are going to shoot at and why they're there to learn how to shoot. I think upgrading your range with the new target line that we have here is something that will really pique customers' interest in seeing their options. And whether they're shooting long-range rifles or they're shooting pistols or they're shooting any kind of self-defense line of guns, we've got a target for them. Our targets, 60 weight bright white paper, not your typical shooting target in any way. They hang a little heavier out on the range so the ventilation systems aren't moving them around as much. The colors on them pop. We use standalone fluorescent inks for our fluorescent line. The B-27 target is really archaic by nature. A black silhouette target with circles and arbitrary numbers doesn't teach a young academy person what they need to know to eliminate a threat. The scoring on them, it doesn't even need to be a silhouette, because really all we're talking about is arbitrary circles and numbers that add up to a value. And does that value really equate to stopping a threat or not? And if they're hitting sevens, which can be clear out here, that's not going to stop a threat versus something more towards the spinal column or the zipper line or the button line. So when I was teaching, I had students coming up out of their holster, getting their first two shots off, and you can miss from literally about here to here, and they're all going to eliminate that threat. You can't miss the same distance left and right. So the idea of having a value system where a 7 on the right and a 7 underneath the chin are the same value really doesn't make sense, because the one underneath the chin is going to be lethal, and the one that's clear out to the side is going to be a flesh wound or a minor wound. So we changed the scoring system, and it's no longer the high score, it's more like golf, the low score. And we have a single column scoring system, which is a 1. We have a secondary scoring system, which is a 2. And then we have a minor scoring section, which is a 3, and we put 4s out anything off the target is going to get a value of a 4. So if you're using a 10-shot qualifying score, our perfect score would be a 10, whereas in the old days it would be a 30. Welcome to our printing facility here in Lenexa, Kansas. We distribute from Burlington, Kansas, and we are able, here being in the Midwest, to pretty much get all orders to their locations within 3 to 4 shipping days.